Jasiel, Kayle, Pidlaon, and I'm gonna tell you about how nervous system is connected with emotional behaviors, and that's my topic. So let's get started. First, I'll define the meaning of emotion. First is in Merriam-Webster dictionary. So that's emotion. Next, in psychological meaning, there is three terms or three components of emotion, and that is cognitions, feelings, and action. So we will base our topic to James Lange theory, and according to James Lange theory, emotional situations arouse the autonomic nervous system, and there is two branches of autonomic nervous system, and that's sympathetic and parasympathetic. Nervous system prepares the body for brief, vigorous fight or flight response, while the parasympathetic nervous system increases the digestion and other process that save energy and prepare for later events. So it's like this: when you run and your heartbeat becomes like this, and in parasympathetic it will go back goes back to normal, like this, something like that. Also, in James Lange theory, said that people with weak autonomic or skeletal response should feel less emotion, and causing or increasing someone's response should enhance an emotion. People with damage to the spinal cord are paralyzed from the level of the damage downward. Most of them report that they feel emotions do not require feedback from muscle movement. However, paralysis does not affect the autonomic nervous system, so it remains possible that emotional feelings depends on feedback from autonomic responses. People with uncommon condition called pure autonomic failure. Pure autonomic failure, also a output from the autonomic nervous system to the body, fails either completely or almost completely. According to the James Lange theory, we would expect such people to report no emotions. In fact, they report the same emotion as anyone else have the little difficulty identifying what emotion or character in a story would probably experience. The decreased emotional feeling is consistent with the predictions from James Lake theory. According to the James Lane theory again, emotional feelings results from the body's action. Example of it is if your heart starts racing and you start breathing rapidly and sweating, would you suddenly feel an emotion? The answer is it depends. The parts of the brain that attempts to localize a specific emotion is first the limbic system, the forebrain areas surrounding the thalamus, and also we consider the amygdala. The cerebral cortex reacts to emotional situation. The left and right hemisphere. Left hemisphere, especially in frontal and temporal lobes, relates to what Jeffrey Gray called the Behavioral Activation System or BAS. It is marked by low to moderate autonomic arousal and a tendency to approach which could character either feel happiness or anger. Next is the right hemisphere. Uh, it is increased activity of the frontal and temporal lobe of the right hemisphere, of course, that associated with what we call behavioral inhibition system or BIS. BIS increased attention and arousal, inhibits action, and stimulates emotions such as fear and disgust. Also, also the activation of the right hemisphere is from events and social contract. It is also most specialized than the left for interpreting other people's expressions of emotion. Next is the functions of emotions. Emotions provide a useful guide when we need to make a quick decision. Your gut feeling is useful. Gut feeling meaning in dictionary again an instinctive feeling as opposed to an opinion based on fact. To sum up this topic, emotions and nervous system will never be apart from one another. It is always connected because the nervous system plays a big role when it comes to emotions and behaviors of a person. It I hope you enjoy this video.